So here we are, heading 3, the end of the Cold War. So uh, as we entered the 80s, um, in many ways, the United States had already won. We just didn't know it yet. See, what had happened is that on some levels, technologically, specifically when it comes to like military and space technology, the Soviet Union could kind of keep up somewhat with the United States, but from a consumer's perspective, things were far worse. The United States continued to broadcast what life was like in the Western parts of the world, the capitalistic parts of the world, and life was so much better for people who lived there than the people throughout the Soviet Union. Now, the Soviet Union isn't the only one paying attention to this. We also have issues in Eastern and Central Europe as they see what has been happening around the world, and as they see, as it's very clear that capitalism was providing better for more people than communism was. We start to see some revolutions. We see them in Poland, we see them in Bulgaria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Romania. We had the Velvet Revolution in Czechoslovakia. In East Germany, they decided to break down the Berlin Wall, and East and West Germany will reunite. In all these cases, these are pretty much non-violent revolutions. They're bloodless. It's just a matter that the people don't want to live under the system anymore. And as they protest, the Soviets do not have the ability to strike it down. That's normally what they would do. But as in some of these countries, they start to break away, the rest want to as well. So it starts really kind of the discontent starts here in Eastern Europe, and it kind of spreads, and we're going to start to get the Baltics, and we're going to start to have all these other countries start to have grumblings because the Soviet Union has a lot of issues. They aren't able to, make lives better for the regular people, and the discrepancy is now getting much and much larger from each other. They've had issues in Afghanistan; they're losing money there, and then what happened is that the Americans really ratcheted it up. You see, Reagan knew that the Soviet Union were on the ropes. In fact, the United States started to send food to the Soviet Union because they couldn't even feed their own people. And so, for a knockout blow, Reagan doesn't do a military conquest, but he starts to pursue very heavy deficit spending. He starts coming up with programs like Star Wars, and which is basically what's the thing from Austin Powers. It's basically we have all this deficit spending, so things are getting better and better for our people, and eventually the weight is just going to be too much for the Soviets. Gorbachev can't keep up, who is the premier of the Soviet Union at this time. He realizes they need economic and social reforms to make this happen. The closed communist system, where everyone's just trying to make the communists happy, is not providing enough solutions and enough products for their people. And so he comes up with the ideas of showing a perestroika and glasnost. Perestroika meaning restructuring, and then we need some glasnost, we need some openness for people to be able to share ideas and try new things. And just like what happened with Lenin, all the way in the beginning with the new economic program, he gave capitalism an inch and it took a mile. So what happens is as people realize, hey, I really can tell the truth on how things are going. I really can say complain about things. I can really come up with other ideas on how things should work. It's just an avalanche that they can't withstand. So as I mentioned, several of the non-Russian republics secede in August of 1991. And just a month or two later, there are some hardcore Soviets who kidnap basically Gorbachev. He disappears from public view. And it's a moment where all of us really kind of held our breath. And within a few weeks, what ended up happening is Gorbachev was freed and things continued. But it was just clear that this great, huge Cold War, which had gone on for decades, was starting to crumble to the end. And so Christmas that year, Christmas in 91, George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush's father, gets a call. He gets a call that the Soviet Union is being dissolved and the Cold War has two more. And there we were left. The United States is the only world superpower. What happens next? That's in the next chapters. I'll see you later.